they got down there to that boat, the guy realized he was undoing the boat. Because mind you, them folks was trying to get off the water. Everybody trying to get off the water, everybody trying to do their thing. And I knew from where we were standing, there was a lot of this going on. I was like, bro, they about to fight. But I did not know that man was going to swing on him. So the white guy swung on him, and the rest of them ran down there, and they jumped on him. People on the Harriet, like, the only thing I can say is I feel like the white guy felt, I don't know. It's no reason for you to put your hand on folks. But the people on the boat was like, move the boat, move the boat. You know, everybody was lit. You could tell they had a good time, but the folks was holding them up. Why would you keep your boat there? All you can do is just move your boat. When he asked them nicely to move, he trying to do this and that. Like, okay, you been drinking, you being real belligerent right now. Just move your boat. He swung on the guy, the rest of them jumped on him or whatever. And the people you saw like standing up, I already knew, like, it wasn't even a reason for the folks I was with to even get into it. Because them folks on the Harriet, like the Harriet was, the boat moved now. The Harriet was slowly coming in, and they was ready.
A violent brawl broke out at the Montgomery Riverfront dock, spreading all over the internet. This fight started with an argument when a black man named Damian Pickett, a co-captain of a black boat, asked some white men to move their boat. It's because their boat was docked at the restricted area, but they did not bother. At the same time, Pickett was getting continuous calls from his captain to get the boat moved. What happened then is hidden from nobody, but some witnesses saw the whole incident, and what they have to say about that is decisive. As of now, a police case has been made. But let's rewind a bit and know the whole inside story of the incident. Welcome to a new episode of BlackAfrik Diary, a channel where we talk about less known and hidden black history, culture, arts, and lost civilization. We scrutinize history here to bring the black culture back on the surface again. In this episode, we will tell you about the recent brawl at Montgomery Riverfront dock between offensive white men and a black man doing his job. Later, this fight got worse. Let's get started. On a Saturday evening around 7 p.m., a series of events unfolded involving the Harriet II Riverboat and a private boat. The Harriet II, a black boat carrying 227 passengers, was returning to the waterfront and attempting to dock in its designated spot. However, they found the private boat already occupying the space meant for the riverboat. That private boat belonged to a group of white men who were perhaps in the mood to pick a fight. Now imagine a big boat carrying about 227 passengers, mostly black, is waiting for a small boat to be moved. Yes, the passengers waited for about 45 minutes while the captain tried to communicate with the private boat's operators using a public address system. Unfortunately, their attempts to reach the private boat were met with disrespectful gestures, foul language, and taunting. To resolve the situation, the co-captain of the Harriet II, named Pickett, was taken from the riverboat to the dock on another vessel. He intended to speak with the owners of the private boat and ask them to move so that the riverboat could safely dock. However, when Pickett confronted the boat owners, they reacted aggressively and in a hostile manner. The incident was captured on video and spread widely on social media. The video footage shows the initial interaction with the co-captain turning into a large fight involving multiple people. The co-captain tried to explain the whole situation, but white men were in no mood. They wanted to fight, and since they saw he was alone, they became more combative and offensive. Yes, they were seeing the right moment to attack the co-captain. The argument turned into a fight when one of the white men tried to punch the co-captain, who then flung his cap into the air. Several other white men ran toward the black co-captain, punching and knocking him to the ground. But the white men did not know that Harriet's passengers, mostly black, were seeing all this, and the boat was moving slowly toward the dock. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Within a few seconds, black men came to rescue the lone co-captain, making the white men realize what they had done. They were all knocked down, hit with a chair, and one of them ended up being thrown in the water. White men have been overpowered since now the co-captain was not alone. During this time, Harriet II's captain called the police twice to report the disturbance, and officers arrived at the scene shortly after. Several of the men were arrested and detained. The police issued arrest warrants on Tuesday for 3 men who were involved in this chaotic brawl. The police chief, Daryl Albert, said that one of the men was already in custody and the other 2 were going to turn themselves in. These 3 men weren't from Montgomery, and they were all white. Their names are Richard Roberts, Alan Todd, and Zachary Shipman. The police chief mentioned that more charges could be added as they continue to investigate. They are interviewing many people and going through videos and statements to understand what happened. Even though the fight was along racial lines, the police didn't find enough evidence for hate crimes or riot charges. The police chief and the FBI looked into whether they should charge anyone with hate crimes during this incident. You should know that hate crimes are actions driven by prejudice against a particular group of people, and this fits in this case. However, they couldn't find enough evidence to charge anyone with causing a riot or acting based on racial bias at this time. Well, you know what this is. Alabama has been the very state that has a history of racial tensions, leading to the civil rights movement. But perhaps the police do not want to make it a racial matter, even though it is. But what do the witnesses say? Well, they reveal different details than what we are thinking. People know that a worker was trying to clear the area near the Alabama River so that a big boat called the Harriet II Riverboat could park there. But there was a group of noisy and rowdy people on another private boat. These people didn't want to move their pontoon, and when the worker untied the boat to make space for the Harriet II, they got really mad and attacked him. One person who saw everything happen said that it didn't have to happen this way. The situation could have been avoided. The person's name is Leslie Mahorter, and she was on the Harriet II at the time. She explained that a group of men who were white ran to the dock one after another and started attacking the worker. Leslie Mahorter knew that something bad was going to happen because the group on the private boat was probably drunk and wanted to fight. They didn't want to listen to anyone and were ready to argue to find an excuse to fight. Well, perhaps they forgot that it was not the late 18th and early 19th century when black slaves were brought to the same state. Those white men thought they could do whatever they wanted, but forgot that now, black people are not helpless, and they know how to be united in these types of hateful events. Another witness named Krista Owen, who was on the Harriet II riverboat with her family, described feeling like a helpless spectator as she witnessed the co-captain being attacked. She emphasized that the co-captain was simply trying to help the passengers by ensuring safe docking, and the aggressive response from the private boat's occupants was completely unnecessary and shocking. Well, it's because that group of white men felt entitled to attack. Perhaps they think that whatever they say is the law. Even if they had docked their boat at the restricted area meant for the Harriet, they did not regret doing so. Instead of apologizing and instantly removing their boat, they got offensive. Since they found the co-captain, a black man, alone, they decided to take advantage. Even a white woman with them attacked, adding her share in the racial riot initiated by them. But things changed completely when black men from Harriet came to the rescue, giving proof that the black community together can never be exploited. Will it continue like this? When will racists give up the grudge they hold and be nice humans? Let us know your take on whether other black people coming for the co-captain's help was a powerful gesture. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.